Elijah, what the fuck did you just say? Long tube? What's good? What's good, man? How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing, man? We back. I was so exhausted last night, bro. I ain't even gonna lie. I ain't even gonna lie, bro. Bro, what? How's everybody, man? How you doing, bro? Why is my chat not popping up on here? What the fuck, bro? There you go. What the hell? All right. What's good, Elijah? We back, baby. How you doing? How you doing, man? How's everybody doing out there? Oh, man. Let me know how you... We should just write a verse to this shit together, bro. No bullshit. We should just do it together, man. Oh my God. I'm so glad to be back, y'all. All right. All right, man. Welcome back to another episode of the Jayson Estrera podcast, where we talk about basketball as accurate as possible. Now, I'm so glad to be back. I'm so happy to be back, y'all. I'm so happy to be back. We get to talk about basketball again. We got to talk about hoops. I'm so happy to be back, man. I'm so happy to be back. I'm speechless. Honestly, I think I want to start some bullshit. Like, I don't know what type of vibe y'all are on. It's a Wednesday. I don't know. Maybe y'all having maybe your week ain't that great so far. I don't know what's going on out there, but hey, why don't we just talk about it? Let's just start with some jokes, bro. Why don't we just start with some jokes? Yo, why don't we start with the jokes real quick? And I'm not trying to make fun of this situation. I understand that, you know, Michael Porter Jr. is going through something in real time, right? I think that's something we forget, right? People be going through these things in real time, having to react in real time in front of the entire world. And, you know, there was news recently, right? There was news recently, and this is going back. And I don't know how true this is, because this started popping up as of late. But reportedly, in 2023, Michael Porter Jr. was with a trans woman. And so this was a couple years back. So this had come recently again, right? This has popped up recently, and then all of a sudden we get a 13-minute video talking about Michael Porter Jr. and his relationship to God, meanwhile throwing his brother under the bus. That to me was one of the funniest part. Like, hey, talk about your relationship with God. Don't talk about mine or my gambling problems on your platform. You know, he spoke about how maybe he's been afforded these contracts and this money because his vice isn't gambling, but it's women, and how his brother has his situation but doesn't have a vice of women but has a vice of gambling. And but like, hey, if hey, I'm already banned, bro. Leave me out of your 13-minute video. He talked about he went to like Costa Rica and he said he went alone at first. So first he went alone and then he went with a homie so the homie could have his phone for a couple days. And he was just reading a book. Listen, I really do think he's going through something. Nikola Jokic called him out of the playoffs. Hey, he's been having a rough time, right? He's been having a rough time. He's been having a real rough time. For real though, it took the broadcasters having to they all had to start talking about his shoulder. It was getting so bad. It was getting so bad that all the broadcasters out of nowhere started talking about his shoulder injury. We got one broadcaster talking about, yeah, I went to the doctor. He said, hey, you got a minor one. You should sit down for like 3 to 4 weeks. And he has a severe contusion or sprain. I forget what exactly the injury was on his shoulder, but you know, it's required for him to just sit down for a little bit, and he played through it. And you got to give him credit for playing, but in all seriousness, it really did take a lot of the broadcasters saying something to kind of sway the way that we were looking at Michael Porter Jr. through the playoffs, because not only was he not playing well, but Nikola Jokic had, you know, if you're not ready to play, like then what are we doing? Like, you know, let me see. Let's see. I'm trying to see if I can find it really quickly. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Here it is. I found it, y'all. Oh, fuck. Let me see. Here it is. Let's take a look at this.
Conversations. I know it's hard to end the game. If you're not good, do you go out of your way in between games just to remind, whether it's him or anyone else, to stay engaged? Do you have those conversations? I know it's hard to end the game. If you're not going to be engaged right now, I think you're not supposed to play this sport. So it's like I said, it's just another game. It just happened. It can happen. So tomorrow is not tomorrow. In 2 days, it's going to be a completely different game. Do you? And you know, earlier on in this year, I was actually giving a lot of credit to Michael Porter Jr. He, you know, but as we know, it's not about how you start; it's about how you finish. And recency bias, right? You know, we're gonna remember you for what you did more recently. And he started very good, in my opinion, to start the year, but ended off not so well. I get that there was an injury, but a lot of things have followed him, you know, through these playoffs. From that instance, the trade, these rumors of who he may have spent time with overseas, and now the video comes out. And I'll be honest with you. From my experience, at least, right? From my experience, there's a lot of times where people will tell you about who they are or what they're doing when it comes to trying to be better, right, as a person.
from my experience, oftentimes people say those things to try to convince themselves that they are. Because in reality, that's not what's really happening. So in a situation like this, I really do hope that Michael Porter Jr. is trying to find a relationship with God if he's been lacking that. I hope that he's truthful and honest with himself about that struggle, right? About that struggle. And it's just like I said, it's just funny timing. It's just funny timing. But a very good player, a very good player, a very good player in this league. And I think if they can get him right, it'll go a long way. It's also very crucial that, where is he going now? Okay, so he is on Brooklyn right now, right? He's on the Brooklyn Nets. So talk about New York City, eyes on you. If when he goes to try to get some of these sponsorship deals, they're going to ask some of these questions, and I think that's probably why he came out with this video. He's trying to save face before anything happens, to basically say, hey, I'm going through something, y'all. Don't judge me for if anything comes out, or whatever the case might be. Wasn't he in another situation? Or was that somebody else? Let me see. So it wasn't him with, I don't know, but he's clearly going through something. I think is really the bottom line. Hopefully he gets the help that he needs, and hopefully he gets the right help, because it's got to be tough going through that alone. And then on top of that, you add the layer of the professional aspect, right? He's probably been going through this, and the only thing that's been keeping him together and his confidence high was the basketball aspect, right? Whatever he was going through in basketball, he was him. They were, champions. He was doing well. He's next to the MVP. All of these good things were happening. And then you get traded, right? And now all of those things that you are trying to hold at bay, right? That wall that you put up, right? That wall came crashing down and the water came pouring in. And now you got to deal with everything in real time. So I really do hope that Michael Porter Jr. gets the help that he needs. And, good luck to him. Good luck to him. Good luck to him. But a very good player. A very good player. A very good player, man. That boy going through it. Sheesh. That boy going through it. My God. And I think that's also the tough part about having a platform nowadays is, trying to, manage that, right? If you've built this whole platform on being candid and being yourself, you almost feel the need to explain some of these things, but I feel like some things could go better unsaid. But all right, let's get into another funny topic before we get into some more nitty-gritty stuff. All right, if you were an NBA player, right? If you were a player, do you think that you would, do you think that you would do what's happening here? Hold on, let's get into this. All right, we're good on here.
Going back into the locker room, like at the half, do you ever like check your phone?
I used to. I'm less on that.
Okay.
I used to be like on what was Twitter and back when Vine was going on.
Yeah.
I used to like part of like that whole. I used to send like snapshots to my people, like do my own kind of like in-game interview. And,
That's hard.
He is a
I was
clown.
16, and like me would take a selfie like this, like what we about to do, just to have fun with it. I slowed down a little bit. As you get older, like the recovery part of halftime is a big deal. So I had to be.
So he kind of bypassed the real convo, which comes up in here.
We need to talk about Stephen and the Speedy interview.
Are we gonna talk about how he had time for Speedy's podcast, but not ours?
Yeah, I'm not.
Just kidding.
We rather have
It's his
Damien and
anniversary
Callie.
today.
No,
shout
she's
out,
not.
shout out to Stephen and Aisha. Happy,
Oh, it is.
happy
Yeah.
anniversary.
I need to text them.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary. How many years have you been married?
11.
12?
10
I don't
plus
know.
1
Let's
is
ask
11.
them later.
Yep.
He went on Speedy's podcast, right?
Yes. And we need to talk about he looks up his own highlights when he's bored. That's amazing. I don't have enough highlights to look up when I'm bored. Just be like 4 minutes.
Do you remember when he talked about how he used to read hate comments on Twitter whenever he needed to like?
I was not there for that.
I was next to him in the locker room.
Ugh. What happened?
He would type in his name on Twitter at halftime, and it'd be like, "Oh, Stephen Curry, this, whatever," and he'd look at it for probably like a minute or two and scroll, close his phone, put it down, and then go crazy in the second half.
Yeah. So people started like just purposefully writing like hate comments to him to get him to.
And one time, Kareth Burke, one of the reporters from the Warriors, tweeted right before halftime, like, "Steph, if you see this, I want you to do airplane arms after you make a three."
Yeah.
And then he made like 1 3, boom, and then he made another 3 in like late third, early fourth, and ran down doing airplane arms.
So, are you reading your Twitter, Instagram, whatever comments? Are you going and reading them comments if you are having a bad game? Are you bold enough? Are you bold enough to search your name to check? Pookie was good. Derpy was good. How you doing? How you doing, Derpy was good. Would you do this? Would you do this? These guys suck at their pod. They should come over here. We talk about some bullshit. But are you doing that? What do you how about this? 1, would you do that? And 2, how do you feel? How would you feel if you look over to your right or to your left and you see your teammate is on Twitter searching their name up to get motivation to go crazy? 1, I don't know if I'd go through my phone. I don't know. Maybe I might. They look depressed as fuck doing that. It'd be like that. It'd be like that. I don't know if I'm picking up and searching my name up. I don't know if I'm picking up and searching my name up, man. I don't know about that one, bro. That one, I don't know. That one I don't know about. But if I were to see my teammate, I guess it would really depend on who it is. Because if I'm next to Steph Curry and I know that he's a little crazy, I feel like it wouldn't check me out. I feel like it makes sense, actually. I feel like, yeah, you a little off, and everything that you do makes absolute sense when you look under the light that, or under the lens that this guy is off a little bit. Don't let the smile and don't let none of that shit fool you. That guy's crazy. And we've seen it. And we've seen it, right? Jayson, high school football starts next week for Ohio. I'm excited. How do y'all keep up with all of these sports, bro? Like, how? How do you guys keep up with all of these sports? I don't know how y'all do it, man. It's mind blowing. I can barely keep up with one. Well, two really. I really keep up with two for real. I don't know how y'all do it, man. Y'all be talking about football, baseball, basketball, hockey, like every. I don't know how y'all do it, bro. This shit's impressive. Shit's impressive. Yeah, I feel like I do think though, if like it's one of the trash players on the team is looking up their highlights trying to get motivation, like, bro, what you about to do in 3 minutes? I do the stats for the team. I'm excited. Ooh, that's fire. Okay. That makes more sense. That makes a lot more sense. That's fire. What is your favorite sport? Derpy, what would you consider your favorite sport? Because, you know, mine is obviously baseball. Mine is obviously. Oh, my God. Let me see. Because we're going to get into some nitty gritty today, man. I want to get into some nitty gritty. Football will be your favorite sport. Oh, so that's right. That's perfect. That's perfect right there. Right up there. Perfect. So we're going to talk a lot about Steph Curry today because I think his game is incredibly misunderstood. I think that he gets a lot of flack for something that he's partly responsible for, but and I've mentioned this before because I really don't think that Steph Curry takes a ton of bad shots. And we'll talk a lot about shooting today. But we'll start right here. I think this is a good place to start.
NBA champion, one of, if not the most influential people in NBA history. People always say like, oh, Steph Curry changed the game. He changed the way the game is played at every level. When people say things like that, do you ever feel guilty? Because you're responsible for a lot of the bad shots that like a lot of people are taking these days.
What Mark Jackson said back in the day when he, after he left our team and went back to the booth, he's like, you're ruining high school basketball because his kids are playing at the time. And he's like, when I walk in the gym, like everybody just throwing up 30-footers. And I made a public service announcement. I was like, please stop tagging me, posting me in all these videos of horrible, shot taking, shot selection in games because there is a process that is going into the way that I play, and that's what I preach. Like, I want kids to, think.
And this is the video that he is referring to, or this is the public service announcement that he's referring to.
I ain't play against him, but we had that special bond.
Yeah.
That special bond.
Tell me this, like, how do it feel? I know you're a humble dude, right? But how do it feel to get to the point to where people feel like you changed the game of basketball, like globally? Like you changed the way little kid like Mike had guys going out there trying to be like Mike and do crazy dunks and layups. Like now, I don't care where you go. You turn on Baller's Life, any of the Hoop mixtape, all of the stuff. You go, you see kids trying to be Steph Curry, trying to come down, pull from wherever, whether they had any business doing it or not. You got the whole world trying to do that.
I'm going to use this moment to get on my soapbox and stop tagging me in all these horrible basketball clips of people taking bad shots, talking about I ruined the game. I did not tell y'all to shoot that shot. I did not say shoot that
Service
shot.
announcement.
There was one the other day, Isaiah Quigley took a shot in transition. I probably would have shot that shot, but I did not tell him to shoot that shot. And they just tagged me left and right, like, yo, you've ruined the game. Thanks, Steph. I'm like, yo.
You the guru. They send them off.
So, do you guys think that he ruined the game of basketball? Because you know, on face value, on a surface level conversation, I could see why somebody would say that, but I genuinely think saying that takes away all the work that Steph Curry put in, and his philosophy on the game, and how he looks at the game, and how, you know, how he got to where he is, aka the work that he put in. And, you know, the art of shooting, right? The art of shooting a basketball, it really starts, you got to start at the most basic aspect of it, right? So when we look at Steph Curry, before we even get into the shooting, before we even start talking about how well he could shoot a basketball, I think a huge part of his maturation as a professional is this.
Make it look cute. Make it look cute. Put the phone up, Michelle. Yeah, turn around straight and act like you're looking over your shoulder. Move the up. Turn around straight. Act like you're looking over your shoulder.
It's from the Warriors.
Michelle. Come on, let's go. Make it look.
Steph at, what is he, 36, right? 35, 36, is still running on hills. He's doing sprints in a weighted vest, right? The first part in shooting, and honestly being a scorer, but really in being a shooter on the move, is your conditioning. You have to be able to shoot the same shot in the first quarter as you do in the fourth. And in order to do that, you have to be in unbelievable shape. That's something that they don't give a lot of credit to. They sort of do, especially as JJ Redick has gotten more popular, but his conditioning and the amount of running that he had to have done to be able to play the way that he did, right? Kyle Korver, all of these guys, Ray Allen, they don't get enough credit for the shape that they are in, right? Before you even get to the shooting aspect of it, right? Before you even get to the form, all the 300, 400 threes in a season, whatever the case might be, before you even get to that, you have to be in shape to be able to do it, right? That is the first part, right? That is, to me, that's number one, right? That is number one. And number two, when we talk about shooting, and this is a great example of someone who's, if this guy can figure out shooting at a high level, the game is over, man. But you have to start shooting at the most basic form. You have to start from inside to out.
His whole family was there. Everybody had a good vibe. Good. So let's keep working on the arc. So we're going to be right here, same thing. So I want to come straight up. Bank shot, but instead of straight in like that, yeah, I wanted to drop in. Yeah. Nah, that's too much. That's too much. Yeah. And let's balance it a little bit. I want to see something. Put your left foot a little forward. Just a little more. Let me know how do it feel from the ground up. Still awkward?
A little bit. Left foot feels like.
It's very important to have a good foundation that works its way up. Let's go 8 right now. Have it drop.
So this is, and this is great. Like, this is excellent work. You have to build a foundation, right? That doesn't get spoken about with Steph Curry. He didn't start off shooting this many threes in the league, right? He had to develop his shot. He had to develop his footwork. And that started from inside to out. Right? Even when he trains, inside to out. Because the same way that I just said, you have to be able to shoot the same shot when you're fresh as when you're tired. You have to be able to shoot the same form from inside to outside. That's what's so amazing about Steph Curry. The shot looks the same no matter where he is. Right? The shot looks the same damn near no matter where he's at. And what I'm seeing with players nowadays is guys aren't building that foundation, right? The way I was taught is you got to build it out 1 to 5 feet, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, 20 to 20. Like, that's how you build out your game. That's how you build out your shot. And you got to make sure left side is the same as the right side. The form is the same the further out that you go. I remember I used to practice because my guide hand used to get in the way a lot when I started shooting early. I was trying to shoot like T-Mac. I was trying to shoot like Tracy McGrady. And the way Tracy McGrady shot the ball wasn't going straight up with Tracy McGrady. He would curve the ball. It was weird. It was weird. He would like hook the ball and then get into a shot. And I think that hooking motion is what led his shot to be so flat. But I literally would try to shoot like him. He would jump so high. But because of that way of shooting, I was trying to even hold the ball the way that he did. But because of that way of shooting, and I was smaller, my guide hand was getting in the way. So I remember I took a summer with my dad to literally rebuild my shot from the ground up. I was shooting one-handed. It's probably why I would love to talk to Kevin Durant about how he built out his shot and his shooting. Because it was damn near like Kevin Durant. I was starting from in front of the rim or right under the basket. I would practice shooting shots that would go right over. I would practice shooting shots that were really high up in arc just so I would get a feel and understand the difference in the touch. And, you know, then you start the guide hand and then you start building your way out little by little. And then you would do those base shots without jumping, and then you would jump, and then eventually you would do moves. Like that is the process of building out someone's game. And I think that gets lost because everyone wants to do a tween behind the back, step back, day one. Right? Where is this? Where is this? I was just watching this. Fuck. Trying to find this video of Melo talking about training. I think it's this. Let's see.
I'm gonna develop, and I'm gonna work on what I work on in the game.
It's
right?
crazy.
In game situations, this is how I'm going to train, right? Because now with what's happening, the skill is growing, but the mindset is starting to change because you realize, hey, if we got this plan and you plan on getting to the next level is in 5 years, 4 or 5 years, you catching Anthony Edwards in his Kyrie moment right now. Like it's like
that nigga's going.
You get what I'm
crazy,
saying?
man.
So I can't train you to go play against. You know what I mean? So like I can't train you for that. That's not what we training for.
I don't think this was it. Let me see.
Out with Giannis. Working out with Giannis would be very different for me. The mentality would be different for me.
Working out with him was like, after that workout, it switched me, Ace's brain. We talked about it after, like, we doing like ball handling, start the workout out. You can see like how intentional he is. Like, he might not be going the fastest, but like he's going the hardest in the gym. Like, he in a full out sweat. We 5 minutes in doing the warm up. So just how he really pays attention to details, stuff like that. We was doing this fadeaway drill. He had to fade away to the baseline, and he's like critiquing everything. He's like, you can't be perfect, but you get close to perfect. So I mean, just trying to strive for things like that. So just to see his mindset and how he just approached the workout was probably the best part about it.
Let me clarify what I was saying, that it would be different for me because of his skill set, the intentionality that he has in everything else. I would be like, yo, Jan, come on, we gotta go, man. Like, we gotta go because he would want to learn that spot, that same situation. And it's like, you got 4 other people in here with you, champ. Come back at night.
We were at a spot for like 20 minutes. I kid you not. Like, we doing 9 spots, like 3 spots on the wing. We gotta make like 10. He's not gonna lead a spot till it's perfect.
But that's the way it's supposed to be, is my point. At your age, it's like, that would be a lot to intake as far as information.
I was trying to play one-on-one though.
See what I'm saying?
I was trying to play one-on-one the whole time with him.
They been in the gym after 3-4 drills. They're like, could we do spots one-on-one? Right? We want to go live. It's totally different. That's why I said it would be different if I was that age working with Giannis, because my mindset would be, that let's go play. But not understanding this is what I really need to sit in this spot for 20 minutes and 30 minutes to master this one spot.
Right? So that right there, and everyone has been there, right? Every player coming up has been there. You just want to play. But I ended up dealing with that at some point when I was, really training, where no one wants to sit there and do spot shooting no one wants to sit there and do 50 shots people don't want to do that. And you're trying to get the shot perfect, the spot perfect, where to the point where it's automatic, right? And like I said, building that whole arc out, especially in the early part, you're spending a lot of time on building that shot out. Like Amen Thompson was in that video. A lot of people don't want to do that. A lot of kids don't want to do that. I mean, let's be real. Adults don't want to do that, right? That mentality of the same repetition over and over and over and over and over again. People don't like that. People want to do 10 and move on, right? People want to do 10 and move on. And that leads me to, this next part with Steph Curry, which is, the ability to really stay locked in.
Video of Clay hitting 73s in a row.
I saw that.
He was with Brickley, shout out to Brick. 73s in a row. What is the most threes you ever made in a row? Have you ever?
105. It's actually it's on video.
Is a video of this?
Yeah. So to your earlier question, that was the day after I took my cornrows up.
Yo, bro, get him back and then just take it out. Just get him braided and then undo it immediately.
I'm on my way. I am kind of growing it back out, but if it was in the hotel,
105
from the corner, yeah.
It's crazy. Have you ever tried to beat it? When you shot that 105, was it an attempt or were you just shooting and it came that?
I do a game after practice where you shoot 5 spots around the arc, and you start in the corner. The first 2 are free. Like, if you make them, great. If you miss, it doesn't matter. But after the third one, like, you shoot till you miss in that spot. Like, I try to get to 50 around all 5 spots.
Okay.
But this particular day, I got to 105 in the first spot. I think I ended up like with 140 something in total in the drill. So I guess every day in some way I'm maybe 60 since then.
Okay.
Maybe once, but yeah.
At 105, or okay, at 99. Really?
Like 40 something. I'm like, oh shit. Because I'm thinking 50, right? Like that's my goal to get out the drill. If I don't get to 50 over 5 spots, then I got to start over and do it again. So that's all I'm thinking about is I might get all of them in this spot. So like at 40, I'm like, I stay locked in. I wish I had like a transcript of all the
thoughts,
whatever thoughts that I had and conversation that was going on in my head, because that's a long time.
And so let's pull up where is this video? Let's pull up the video. Here it is. And so, again, right, we've spoken about, the two essential parts of shooting and trying to be Steph Curry. And this last part is what really helps him become Steph Curry, and what really pushes those other two factors, right? Which is his mentality. The mentality of constantly competing with yourself. And that drive has clearly pushed this man every single day, right? To be in the best shape possible, to be the best shooter possible, to be the best player possible, right? That constant competition with himself. And look, in all of Dylan Harper was just talking about wanting to play one-on-one. In none of these situations, he's in one-on-one in these trainings, right? He is against himself. And when he shows up as the best version of himself, it just adds to the team. But I think, again, the attention to detail, the ability to really lock in on specific things. Let's perfect this one thing. Let's master this one thing. How do we do that? We got to build it out. Right? And the gift and the talent, that God-given gift, all of that stuff only gets you so far. It's the fact that if Steph Curry only shot and didn't work out and train the way that he did in the gym and run the way that he did, he wouldn't have turned out the same way. If he only ran and trained the way that he did and didn't shoot nearly as much as he did, or wasn't as competitive with himself in shooting, he wouldn't have become who he is. All of those things gotta come hand in hand. And it came in the form of Steph Curry. It came in the form of Steph Curry. And I think that he said it before. Those things are extremely hard, right? Oh, they just disconnected. Let it reconnect. Recreating those physical things are extremely hard. It's a lot easier to recreate Steph Curry. It's a lot easier because his size and his physical capabilities are a lot more similar to others. But I will say that doesn't mean that there isn't something that we could all take away from a Michael Jordan or a LeBron James, right? The footwork that Michael Jordan had in the mid-range. A lot of those fundamental things. Kobe talked about how flawless Michael Jordan's his technique was. I've even spoken about how when you watch Michael Jordan play, it almost doesn't look real sometimes. And what I mean by that is a lot of guys, you watch basketball now, there's a lot of wasted movement, motion, and steps. Michael Jordan will take one dribble or two dribbles straight into a 1-2. It's so hard to explain, and it's like the things open up at the perfect time, and he's already getting into his gather. He's not reacting to them. He's expecting it, right? If you watch him with under those eyes, watch how technical he is with the game when he gets to certain spots. It's it's all preparation, right? It's all preparation, and the God-given gifts are what takes him over the top. But you can take that from Michael Jordan. You could take the way LeBron James can manipulate an offense and a defense as a point guard. You might not be 6'9", but you could watch how he pays attention to human behavior, how he understands the rhythm of a basketball game. So when you're in a similar scenario or situation, you could try to do the same thing and see what happens. If it works for you, repeat it. If it doesn't, find out why. But all of those things are things that we could work on. And aside from all of the training, and that's what makes all of these guys so great, and I've said this before, we talk about the alpha males all the time, right? In basketball, in sports. We always talk about the alpha males. And when people talk about alpha males, I think they think of brute strength. They think of being machismo, right? Like a Wolverine type of character, right? But the reality about the alpha males in sports, right? These wolves, these dogs, whatever you want to call them, is they're the people at the front of the classroom. They're the people at the front of they're the people that shows up 15 minutes before class, sits at the front, asks the most questions, answers the most questions, and asks for extra credit. Not only is the physical aspect so great, but the mental part, the preparation part. And I think that's something that gets lost between these generations. And when you have an analytic type of game now, it removes some of that thinking that's required. Right? The best teams still have it, right? Thinking is still a massive part of the game. But having an analytic type of game, telling someone to go out there, only shoot 3s or 2s, and not think the flow of the game, not think, okay, we've missed X amount, we got to get something going. Like, it takes away that aspect of the game, which everyone can learn from. You don't need to be able to jump 48 inches to think the game, right? And that is the other part of Steph Curry. There was that moment where and we went over it. Let me see if I could find it. But there was a moment where Draymond had taken a shot, and Steph didn't. He basically told him that's not the time. That's not the time for this. Excuse me. That's not the time. That wasn't the right time for this shot. Here it is. We're gonna Jayception this shit real quick. Hold up.
We need to get to this action. And it's an action that we like to get to. He's like, yo, we need to get to this. And I was like, all right, say no more. And pretty much what he was saying was, I want you to get the ball in the same spot that you just got it.
Yeah.
I don't want you to take the shot. I want you to get me the ball so I can take the shot.
Yeah.
And so I want you to get the ball right back where you were, but I want to take the shot.
Yeah.
Game, but he's talking about right. But Steph Curry. I'm gonna shut myself up right here. So this was the play. This is the play that he was talking about in that clip. Draymond, by all accounts, is a wide open shot. They're up 3 with 2:50 left. But understandably so, this is the shot that the Grizzlies would prefer that the Warriors take in that moment. And as we get it back, he's already calling it right here. And that's why I'm circling with the that's why I'm circling with the mouse. But Steph is essentially calling the same action, but he wants that shot as opposed to Draymond. And let's see how this plays out. Bing bong. Right? So, you know, that's a part of thinking the game. Right? That is a part of thinking the game, knowing and understanding situation, time, right? All of those things are important and don't get taken into account. And I'll be honest, you know, these guys don't learn this before they get into the league, right? These guys learn these things as they're going through their time in the NBA. And I think these are the things that are really important to take away when it comes to trying to become a great basketball player, right? These are the things that don't get spoken about enough when it comes to trying to become a great player. But let's look ahead to this upcoming season because they've announced some schedules already. Some schedules already. Let's see. Let's see. So these are all like the opening night. Opening night is Tuesday, October 21st. So mark your calendars. It's Houston at OKC. So this was the big news because Kevin Durant will be in attendance for the ring ceremony. Let's see. Let's see. All right, so we'll talk about that in just 1 second. But actually, let's do it right now. So Kevin Durant was you know, he's been going at people again. He had time. But how do you guys think Kevin Durant is gonna feel for, you know, being in front of that crowd? He said, let me see, where was it? Let's see. Find what he had to say. Oh, he spoke about small guards. Show one look at game. Where is this? Dog, where was it just in his replies? This is already in June, bro. But he was talking about, you know, people are talking about him being there in attendance for opening night, front row, right? Right, best seats in the house, right? The best seats in the house. So you know, the NBA is just so petty with these. The NBA is so petty, but truthfully, I mean, why would he? He said, I'm glad they finally got one. Where was it? Let me see. Um, Let me see. Hold on, guys. Let me try to find this. He really had time, bro. Yo, he was going in. I didn't even know. I didn't even realize how deep in his bag he was. um, let me see. He said something else as well too here. It triggers you. I get it. Oh my god. Yo, he's so funny. He's so funny. But he'll be in attendance for the first he'll be in attendance for opening night, the ring ceremony, but you know, I thought it was funny because he already has a ring. That's why I thought that was funny. That comment was funny because he already has a ring. Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand. He has 2 of them actually, and 2 Finals MVPs. So I don't understand what that jab was. He got one before them actually. So that's on the schedule, and then it's followed by the Golden State Warriors versus the Los Angeles Lakers. And then Wednesday, October 22nd, Cleveland at New York, San Antonio at Dallas. Thursday, October 23rd, Oklahoma at Indiana, Denver at Golden State. Peacock exclusives on Monday, October 27th, Cleveland at Detroit, Denver at Minnesota. And Christmas Day games. Cleveland at New York, San Antonio at Oklahoma City, Dallas at Golden State, Houston at Los Angeles, and Minnesota at Denver. So a lot of games are coming up that, you know, we got to talk about. The Evan Mobley, where is this photo? Bruh. Where is bro, I cannot find anything today, bro. Why can't I find shit today? Here it is. So Evan Mobley looks absolutely massive right now. He looks absolutely massive right now. Where is this shit? It's not just him. It's not just Evan Mobley. Karl Anthony Towns has also been in the gym as well, right? So, you know, we definitely got some games coming up this year. I think the fun part to look forward to is what players are going to take that leap, right? Evan Mobley is in a position right now where defensive player of the year, he's spoken about being an MVP, and we've seen in the NBA, your play can only get you so far. At some point, you have to talk yourself into some of these conversations, right? No one will hear you if you don't speak up for yourself. And a lot of times, we've seen that work out, right? So not only do you have to play well, but you got to talk about it at some point. And that's just the reality of it. So Cleveland and New York seems like it's going to be a thing. OKC, we're going to see if Shai Gilgeous-Alexander can continue his run, right? His unbelievable run. He's been averaging 30 year in and year out. Let's see if he does it again this year. The thing about the Thunder is Jalen Williams is going to want to elevate, right? You can't keep holding him at bay. He had 40 in the finals. You can only hold him at bay for so long. And I'm really curious what the dynamic with the Oklahoma City Thunder will look like if Shai goes out a couple games and Jalen Williams goes berserk. If like in a 2-week span, we see Shai is out and Jalen Williams is averaging close to 30 or 30, it'll be hard to reel him back in. So we'll see what happens with that. Do you think there will ever be another LeBron? Yes. 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 We've said this before. I've said this before. For a long time, a lot of people were saying, where will there be another Magic Johnson? And LeBron got drafted, right? For a long time, people were saying, where will there be another Michael Jordan? Well, Kobe Bryant has already been in the league, right? God rest his soul. So it won't be exactly the same, but I do think that we will get other versions of these guys. Maybe they'll be a little bit different. Like, for example, Kobe Bryant, as great as Kobe was, he just was never the athlete that Michael Jordan was, right? So, as we've said this before, that those 1984 to 1988 Michael Jordan, you can't do nothing with that. And maybe the exact physicality, the 6'9", 260 freight train that LeBron was, maybe that exactly won't be recreated. Or more than likely, I think you get someone that has that physical capability, but maybe they're not just as, their IQ just isn't as high as LeBron's. It's hard to recreate everything that a person has, right? So I do think there will be another version that'll look very similar. I think that's just how sports are. Whether they're better is another conversation, though. Whether they're better is another conversation. Wow, we've spoken a lot about the Warriors today. Holy. We've spoken a lot about the Warriors today. Let me see. Do we have anything else? Is there a Shams? Any breaking news for Shams? All right. I think that's gonna do it for me for now, man. I think that's covered everything. I'm gonna try to get a tier list together so we can do a fun tier list. That's what I'll try to do next. But we'll do that. But thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you so much for hopping in. I know I was gone for a little bit. We missed like 2 episodes, but thank you so much. I'll see y'all later. We'll do Battle of the Decade tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday, so we'll do that tomorrow, and then we'll have an episode on Friday. So I'll see y'all later, man. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day. Have a great one. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Before I get out of here, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. All that good stuff. It really helps the channel out. Thank you so much. But again, I really appreciate you guys. Y'all could have been anywhere on the internet, but y'all were here with me, and I appreciate you for that. So thank you so much. I'll see y'all later. Have a good one.